Cape Canaveral, Florida, 1986, January 28th. At sunrise, the shuttle waits on the launch pad. To the watching world, it is a symbol of progress, confidence, and human ambition reaching beyond Earth. Behind the scenes, engineers review technical diagrams. Every line, every joint, every seal matters when millions of parts must work perfectly together. The morning of January 28, 1986, at the Kennedy Space Center was unusually cold, with temperatures dropping to -5 degrees C, which stiffened the O-rings, ensuring the seal between the segments of the two solid rocket boosters that provide most of the thrust at takeoff. In the meeting room, time is running out. Managers face pressure, schedules, expectations, and a launch that many people want to see happen. Several engineers had previously expressed similar concerns about the effect of temperature on the strength of the rubber O-rings that sealed the booster segments. They argued that if the O-rings were colder than approximately 53 degrees Fahrenheit, there was no guarantee that they would be truly airtight. Decision-makers debate under pressure. Safety, reputation, deadlines, and uncertainty collide in a room where one decision will change history. The crew walks toward the shuttle with courage and professionalism. They carry the hopes of a nation, unaware of the danger ahead. The team monitoring ice at the Kennedy Space Center inadvertently pointed a thermal camera at the seal on the right booster and found a temperature of only 8 degrees Fahrenheit. This was well below the air temperature and well below the design specifications for O-rings, but this information was never communicated to those in charge. Inside Mission Control, operators monitor every system, focused and tense as the final moments approach. The countdown continues. Each second moves the mission closer to launch, while unresolved concerns remain hidden behind procedure and routine. Spectators were gathered to watch from a distance. For them, this is a moment of pride, excitement, and trust in the mission ahead. The engines ignite with violent force. Smoke, fire, and thunder fill the launch pad as the shuttle begins its climb. The shuttle rises into a clear blue sky. For a brief moment, everything appears normal, powerful, and magnificent. The shuttle climbs higher, bright against the sky. From the ground, the ascent still looks like success. Then suddenly, the sky changes. A distant explosion cloud replaces the shuttle's path, and the mission becomes a national tragedy. Spectators look upward in disbelief. What began as a celebration becomes a moment of shock, confusion, and silence. Mission Control falls silent. Screens keep glowing, consoles keep blinking, but the people in the room understand what has been lost. On the night of the disaster, President Ronald Reagan delivered a speech about the Challenger disaster from the Oval Office. This tribute, known as the Challenger speech, is considered one of the most important addresses ever given by an American president. 7 crew members are remembered. They were astronauts, teachers, and explorers who trusted the mission. The investigation begins. Models, diagrams, photographs, and components are examined to understand how such a failure became possible. The O-ring becomes the central evidence. A small rubber seal now stands at the heart of a much larger failure. Officials review the warnings that were raised before launch. The disaster was not only technical, it was also organizational. The Presidential Commission on the Space Shuttle Challenger accident, also known as the Rogers Commission, was established to investigate the disaster. It worked for several months and published a report of its findings. The Challenger accident was caused by a failure of the O-ring seals in the rear section of the straight solid rocket booster, which allowed hot pressurized gases and then flames to damage the O-ring and come into contact with the adjacent external tank. President Reagan's speech ended with this quote adapted from John Gillespie Maggie's poem High Flight: "We shall never forget them, nor the last time we saw them this morning." When they prepared their journey and said goodbye and broke the difficult ties with Earth to touch the face of the Creator. The launch pad stands empty. Where there was fire and ambition, there is now absence and reflection. Documents were marked, reviewed, and questioned. The investigation showed how warning signs can be present long before disaster strikes. The Rogers Commission issued 9 recommendations for improving safety in the Space Shuttle program. And President Reagan demanded that NASA report within 30 days on how the agency planned to implement them. Under the spotlight, the shuttle becomes a lesson. Progress requires courage, but also humility before risk. NASA also created a new Office of Safety, Reliability, and Quality Assurance. headed by a NASA deputy administrator reporting directly to the NASA administrator as recommended by the Commission. Years later, launches continue under stricter safety culture. The legacy of Challenger is not only tragedy, but the duty to remember and improve.